I know some people find it annoying when we hold the mic like this instead of clipping it to our shirts because this is not a handheld mic. However, I think it's more distracting when, especially if you use your hands a lot when you speak, that every time you move, the mic picks up on the sound that your shirt makes. So I find that more distracting. So bear with me. Buongiorno, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Arlene. I am an American woman of a certain age who moved to Rome in 2008. And on this channel, we talk about all things Italiano, lifestyle, St. Martin, Anguilla. And today, this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Cambio di Stagione, which is a very important thing here in Italy. Now, FYI, I am taping this in my apartment and they're still renovating the apartment above me. I don't know when it's going to end. And there seems to be a lot of activity going on in the building today. Like I can hear people outside talking, people talking in the hallway. So hopefully it won't be too distracting. Anyway, what is Cambio di Stagione? Literally means change of season. So the closets here in general tend to be much smaller than what we're used to in the United States. So, for example, I think my Los Angeles closet was maybe 3 times the size of all my closets here combined. I only have 3 and they're very small, but they're very well designed. What's unusual in my apartment is that I have a walk-in closet where most apartments and houses you have wardrobes. So you either have to buy an armoire or you go to IKEA and you buy a wardrobe. You don't find a lot of walk-in closets because of the age of the buildings when things were constructed. Closets, as we're used to in the States, they're just not a thing. Since we have less space, we have fewer clothes. And we have to maximize that space. So when we have Cambio di Stagione, the change of the seasons, you're swapping out your closet. So you're putting away the last season's clothes, you're putting them in storage boxes under your bed or on a higher shelf, or you're storing um, dresses, skirts, blouses on a higher rod in your closet that you don't need to get to every day. And sometimes it is a bit of pain in the butt because, it's a bit of organization. But I think it's a good thing to do the Cambio di Stagione. I look at it as an opportunity to see what is really in my closet and what I have been wearing, what I haven't been wearing. What I do is I separate things into 3 sections. There is the section of clothes that I'm going to donate, the section of clothes that need to be repaired, and then the clothes that I might sell or send to, like a secondhand store or something. And the thing is, I usually say, okay, if I haven't worn it in 2 seasons, maybe 3 seasons, it's time to let it go. There's a reason why I'm not wearing this. There are maybe 2 or 3 pieces in my wardrobe that I hold on to for sentimental reasons, or I just really like that particular, I don't know, I can't part with this particular skirt. Like I have a Tracy Reese skirt that I haven't worn in ages, but it was one of her first collections and she's a designer that I really um, appreciate. So I'm just going to hold on to it. And the thing is, I don't really have that many clothes because, again, space is an issue. And 2, I'm at an age where I'd rather have fewer things of better quality and just wear my clothes. I don't understand this whole idea of not repeating outfits. I think that's stupid. I don't um, buy fast fashion for a variety of reasons. One, I'm short. I'm only 5'2". I'm not skinny. And usually it just looks bad on me. I used to sew and I actually took sewing classes when I was younger. And I do look at things like the seams and I just can't do it. And also, I'm not somebody who really, okay, let me explain. I don't I'm aware of trends, but I feel about trends in fashion the way I feel about trends in interior design. Like for my job, it's important for me to know what's going on with trends in interiors. However, I don't believe in following them because this is someone's home. This is where you have to live. And this idea of not painting a room a certain color because it would hurt the resale value is so foreign to me because like I just don't understand that at all because I don't look at a house as just like an investment. And also I live in Italy and I spend a lot of time in the Caribbean, and these are two places where people do not move all the time. Houses are passed down from generation to generation, and a house is just not an investment. It's like it's a home, it's where you live, and it really should be about who you are as a person, what your tastes are, what you love, what's important to you. It reflects you. Like if someone walks into your home, it's like, oh, this looks like you. It should not look like a showroom. It should not look like someone else's home. It should look like you. And people will say, well, if everybody did that, wouldn't you be out of a job? No, because a lot of people, they do have great style, but they're not sure how to execute, or they don't have time, or they don't know where to go, like where the resources are. And so we're just here to help. But with fashion, I feel the same way. Like I know what looks good on my body because, again, like I said, I'm short and I'm not thin. And also, I'm a woman of a certain age. And I know my style and it hasn't changed that much. I would say when I moved from New York City to Los Angeles, I did change it up a bit because I had a lot of black in my wardrobe. Obviously, living in New York, we wear a lot of black, and it just looked harsh in LA. Los Angeles is super casual, and I remember wearing a skirt to work, and people are like, "Do you have a job interview or something?" Because it's a very casual city. Like I would go meet friends at Earth Cafe in, yoga pants, or I would go run to Gelson's after the gym, not after taking a shower, literally working out and just rolling up to Gelson's like it was, I would not do that here. I would wear things in Los Angeles. I mean, okay, so Los Angeles, super casual, flip flops everywhere, yoga pants, no biggie. I would wear to lunch, brunch, the movies, um, an outfit that I would not take out the garbage in here. And I'm in Rome, which is not as um, formal, dressy as maybe Milan or Naples. I mean, one thing I noticed in Los Angeles, and also spending more time in the Caribbean, I think getting older and feeling more confident in my personal style is I started to wear more color. And with my complexion, I noticed when I would wear yellow, for example, which is a tough color for a lot of people to wear, depending on your complexion, people would be like, oh my gosh, that color looks so great on your skin. And then, you have women like Lupita Nyong'o who just looks amazing pretty much in every color. And so I started slowly getting away from wearing black, dark gray, and navy, basically, just all I wore in New York, and started to wear more color, which I used to wear when I was younger. And so here, I would say maybe people don't wear as much color. It's a lot of, again, black, navy, gray. You don't see, like, for example, that much red, but I know what works on me. For example, I don't wear that many skirts and blouses because I don't tuck in blouses because I'm short waisted. And being 5'2", it just cuts me in half. And I could look very dumpy. Like I look like a Weeble. Remember those toys, Weebles, wobble, but they don't fall down? That's me. Like, no, that's not, no, I can't. I can't. So instead, I wear a lot of dresses. I love dresses. And when I was in Los Angeles, I didn't wear that many dresses. I wore jeans and, once again, yoga pants. I look back and I just sometimes I just shake my head like, what was I thinking? I also think, to be honest, for like 10 years, I had a low grade depression when I was living in Los Angeles, probably because I wasn't eating any carbs. That was the whole thing living in Los Angeles. Everybody was on a diet. Nobody was eating carbs. And one time my assistant said to me, please, for the love of God, eat a bagel or something. I just, please. Anyway, but those days are gone. I live in Italy now and I eat pasta like 5 times a week. And I weigh less than I did in Los Angeles. But I'm getting off the subject. Okay, so back to the whole clothes. So I'm aware of trends. That's great. That's wonderful. But I know it works for my body. So, for example, like skinny jeans apparently are out. But if they came back in, I really don't care because you know what? I'm not going to wear skinny jeans because I have very athletic legs, which I did not appreciate when I was younger. My mom is 5'10". She was 5'10". And she had very like long, lean legs. I did not inherit those legs. But now that I am a woman of a certain age, I appreciate having an athletic build. When I went to get my bone density test, my bones were in very good shape. I need to go next year. Actually, that reminds me. So I appreciate my athletic frame now in a way that I did not when I was younger. And wearing skinny jeans on me, first of all, they're not really skinny. And number two, I feel like a sausage or something. Like it just doesn't look right. I'm better with like some kind of flare or even a wide leg. Yeah. So trends come and go. That's great. I think it's good to be aware of them, and make them, work for you. Maybe there's a trend that you can incorporate into your wardrobe with like an accessory, something that's not like a major expensive item like a coat, right? It's one thing, let's say you love the color pink and you buy a pink coat. That's great, right? But remember at one point there was this trend of everybody was buying pink coats. Now I don't see them so much. Same with sofas. Like sofas are very expensive and they're quite an investment. So do not buy a sofa in a color that's hot this year unless you love that color and you're willing to live with it for quite some time. Because I don't know, I don't have the budget nor the time to recover a sofa all the time because colors are going in and out. All this to say, it's good to be aware of trends. It doesn't mean you have to follow them. And nobody wants to look dated or completely out of style. That's why it's important to know what your personal style is and be confident and go with that. So I look through my clothes once I have them all sorted. It's great because I can see where maybe I need to buy a button down shirt, that kind of thing. I'm very careful about what I buy because, again, I have no space. There's like very little closet space. Number two, budget. The last couple years, I haven't been buying many things because all my money has been going to traveling to the Caribbean to see my elderly parents. And then when they were ill, spending as much time as I could with them before they passed away. And now I have to find a new apartment. I have to pay movers. I may need to paint. No, I know I'm going to paint. I also need to have, I probably will have to buy a wardrobe. There are things that I will need for this new apartment. So once again, that's where my budget is going to go. Plus, I still need to spend time in the Caribbean. And the flights from here to St. Martin are very expensive, even if you're flying economy. And I'm not flying economy. I will not do it. I cannot do it. If I have to cut back on aperitivo, so be it. Once I have the 3 sections organized, I swap the closet. And then I also buy a pack of these to put inside the storage boxes. I also hang one in the closet. It's to help keep away like moths and other things that can eat your clothes. We don't want to have that happen. And the thing with Cambio di Stagione, it becomes a big topic of conversation as you get closer to the end of the season because you don't want to Cambio di Stagione too early. Because if it's the end of, let's say, you think it's the end of winter, and so you do this big Cambio di Stagione, which again can be like an all day or all weekend process, depending on how many clothes you have. And then there's a cold snap and you're salty because your sweaters are on the highest shelf possible or they're in a storage box, for clothes underneath your bed, and then you have to like whip out all these clothes because you cambio di stagione too soon. So there is an art to it. Now you may say, well, I live in America, I have a huge walk-in closet, why would I need to do a cambio di stagione? It doesn't make sense. Like, I can see all my clothes in front of me. I think a good reason to do it, even if you do have a lot of closet space, is just to see your clothes, like what you have, and to think about what you're wearing, what you're not wearing, why you're not wearing it, and just better organize your space. And that way you will be less likely to overbuy, buy things you really don't need, or you buy something that doesn't go with anything you have. That's another thing I try not to do. If I buy any kind of separate, I try to make sure it goes with something that I already have. Like if I buy a skirt, do I have blouses that go with this skirt? If I buy this blouse, are there skirts and pants that work with it? I don't want to have a situation where I buy something, I get it home and I look around, I'm like, this, why did I why did I buy this? I try not to impulse buy. I don't know if it's from being a double Virgo or what, but I don't really do a lot of impulse buying. I say, okay, I really love this dress or I love this piece, and I will save up to get it. Because again, being a woman of a certain age, I want to have a wardrobe where maybe I have fewer pieces, but they're better quality and they are things that I love and I will wear over and over again. I have a skirt from J. Crew that's got to be 25, almost 30 years old. And it's like this tweed skirt. And every time I wear it, it's midi length. And people are like, oh, I love that skirt. Where'd you get that skirt? Is it Max Mara? And, back then, J. Crew quality was very good. I can't speak to the current quality because I have not been to J. Crew in years. I will say I find that the Gap is really knocking it out of the park. I have to say the Gap is back. But yeah, I find that for me, it makes sense to buy things that last, that are not super trendy, all about things that are, for me, that are timeless. I don't consider the Gap or collection of stores to be fast fashion because they don't have a new collection or new items dropping every single day. They, I find that their clothes last longer, and also their prices are a little bit higher because materials cost what they cost. So if you're buying a shirt for like $5, the material, that cost does not change. So how do you make a big profit? It's by the labor costs. So they pay people nothing. I was hearing all this noise outside and I realized it is one of my neighbors. So the neighbors that used to live above me, they sold their house and moved to the ground floor. And I was very happy because the son used to play football, what we call soccer in the United States, um, every day after school. And one time I said something to his mom, like in a very nice way. And she was like, yeah, but it's, it's a really, like, it's a bonding thing. It's a bonding thing for him and his dad. And I was like, yo, that's very sweet. But hi, we live in an apartment building and we have a courtyard outside. So they're playing on the roof of the garages that connect like our building with another building. So that's the noise. Hopefully it's not too distracting. But I'm glad they're playing outside. It's a nice day instead of playing, in the apartment, driving the neighbors crazy. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so anyway, so yeah, Cambio di Stagione. I think this is a great idea to do stateside, especially if you live in like the Northeast or the Midwest, any place where you have like 4 seasons. I mean, there are seasons in Los Angeles, but they're not as drastic. And it's also fun because you're like, oh, right, I remember I have this top. And you get excited about the new season, like especially going from winter to spring. It's like I get very, very excited because it's like, oh, I can wear like these colors again. And, you know, excited that um, the cold and gray winter is behind us, looking forward to spring. And then by the time we do the Cambio di Stagione after the summer into fall, the summers here are very hot. They're brutal. And by the time Cambio di Stagione rolls around, we are so over the heat. I can't wait to put on a sweater. Like I'm very excited about it. So that is what Cambio di Stagione is. I hope this video was helpful and maybe will give you some ideas of how to do it in your own home. And you also learned an Italian phrase. It's very important because you will hear people say, did you, well, they say it in Italian, but basically, did you cambio di stagione? During that time of year, my friends and I will be talking. They're like, what are you doing this weekend? It's like, oh, cambio di stagione. And then it's the conversation's like, oh, but is it too early? It's like, che pensi? What do you think? I'm serious. It's like a real thing. It can take a lot of time. So I put on a really great playlist. I have all my boxes pulled out from under the bed. I have my little step ladder so I can reach the higher curtain rods. And then I'm ready. I'm ready to cambio di stagione. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. If you're not, please consider subscribing. It will help the channel grow. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Ciao for now.